Hey, what's up everyone, this is Portugal here today with a new video. This video is about ants and curiosities or facts about ants. 16 of them, right? Most of you know a lot about ants and that's why you're on the channel. So I hope to those of you who already know this or most of these facts at least don't know like one or two, and you'll be surprised with those and you'll learn something new. But also, you should show this video to your friend who you're trying to get into ant keeping, or your friend who's interested in ant keeping and who's new, or whoever you think will be interested in this, because if people do not know, it will be very interesting to actually watch and learn all of these, okay? So let's begin with a little bit of anatomy, okay? So first of all, ants have no ears. Yeah, they listen by sensing vibrations in the soil, the ground. The vibrations travel through the leg, and the nervous system captures those vibrations, and they hear like that. Just like elephants do, but elephants also have very good hearing. Ants don't. Ants also have no lungs, no lungs at all. They like every insect. They breathe through little holes in their exoskeleton, which via some tubes are connected to the whole body, and they exchange gases that way. Third fact, there are over 12,000 ant species in the world, and they live everywhere except for the Antarctica. Yeah, they're very prolific, and they're honestly probably the most successful animal in the whole planet, except for us humans. And they also have the most potent sting in the insect kingdom. The bullet ant from the Amazon, Tetraponera clavata, which is a scientific name, and I'll leave it down there because maybe I'm butchering it. They can deliver, it's said that their sting is the most painful throughout all the insect kingdom, excluding arachnids, centipedes, spiders, scorpions, those don't count, right? Just insects. Also, they can live very long. The queens, not the workers, but ant queens are the longest living insects, alright? The longest living ant queen is those of the species Pogonomyrmex oihei, which I'll also live here, because I am definitely butchering that one. Alright, now, sixth fact is that some ants can lift up to 50 times their body weight. Ants in general can lift from 10 to 15 times to 50 times their body weight, and that's just crazy. That's super strong, and it's kind of common for insects, but still it's impressive, right? Also, some ants specialize living underground and have no eyes at all. Also, most ants have very poor eyesight, but some of them, especially spider ants and most definitely bull ants from Australia, they actually see very well, and their vision, although they have compound eyes, is comparable to our vision capacity, even though they're very, very small, right? And next fact, some ants can clone themselves. That's right, some species in the Amazon, they do not have queens or are all queens, and they basically just clone themselves. They lay the eggs, and it's just a copy of the mother, and they're all copies of the same mother. And the actual way they evolved into this is, interesting and complex, and if you want to, you should research more on that, alright? Fact number 9. Some ants can farm, and some ants can round up and take care of cattle. And they've been doing that for more time than us humans, alright? So some species of ant are leafcutter ants. These are Acromyrmex or Ara, that's the genuses, then they're all from the Americas. And they cut leaves, and they use those leaves to take care and grow a garden or farm of fungus, which they depend on and eat. Also, about cattle, some ants, a lot of species of ant, can actually round up and take care of aphids, those little insects that suck plants, and they produce honeydew, which is an extraction. They pee out of their butt, and they pee honeydew, and ants love that because it's sweet, and they feed off that, and they protect the aphids. And that's basically what we do with cattle, or what we did a lot of years ago. Also, fact number 9, some ants are slave makers. Yeah, a lot of species of ants, instead of having their workers specialized for working, have them specialized for raiding other nests, normally of a single species that they specialize on, and take their babies, grow them out, and use those babies as workers for them. Some species of ants do both, have workers that actually work and then slave make, but most just, and not most, just a few ant species, especially from the genus Formica, just, enslave people. Well, not people, ants. But yeah, that's cool. Normally they enslave other Formica species, or species of the genus Formica, right? Also, ants have 2 stomachs. Most of us in ant keeping know that they have their personal stomach and their social stomach. Their personal stomach digests food as you'd normally expect. The other stomach just keeps it there and keeps it good for consumption, and then they can regurgitate from the social stomach, and they can pass on via mouth-to-mouth transference food, liquid food, and that process of mouth-to-mouth feeding is called trophallaxis, and I've explained it in the Rise of the Sun Empire episode in the channel, right? Also, ants have been on this planet for longer than us, longer than, well, everything you see around you almost, because they've been around since the time of the dinosaurs. Ants have developed into a separate group from wasps 130 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period, while dinosaurs were still walking around. And they have been developing in Earth ever since, and they've been very, very successful. Fact number 13. Ants can smell, and they only smell through their antennae, right? Their antennae are used for touching other ants and actually smelling. They communicate via pheromones, which they leave behind, and they have many, many chemicals that make new smells, and they can communicate and vote as a collective in some objective. For example, it's very complex, the communication between ants, and it's a very interesting topic to study, but basically ants just leave pheromones saying to everyone who smells it, do that. And any ant that decides that doing that is a good way for the colony to move and progress and prosper, just leaves another pheromone that says the same. So when an ant is confronted with 2 pheromones, and one says do this and the other says do the opposite, the one that has more power, more smell to it, is the one that the other ant will probably choose, until everyone stays on the path or does the thing that the most ants voted on. And that way the colony can, via sort of a democracy, progress and hone the brain power of almost every single ant colony in any decision. And it's amazing how they communicate, and they can communicate in more ways that we have ever had in our languages. A single species can do that. And it's amazing, and it's a topic that I do not fully comprehend, but I'd love to one day. Also, speaking about brain power, one ant has a total of somewhere around, depending on the species, 250,000 brain cells, right? We humans have 10 billion ant cells, and you may think that the difference is a lot, but a colony of 40,000 ants which is very common in some species, has exactly the same brain power as an entire person. All right, and that's just amazing. And when I say brain power, it's obviously not the same, but they have the same brain capacity. You know, they have the same amount of gigabytes of information they can contain. You know, if that makes, or contain, or well, process, if that makes any sense. They do not have the knowledge nor the size and whatever we have got in evolution that allows us to be rational, and they're not. But they're pretty dang close, right? They're probably the most evolved, and eusocial insects are the most evolved creature in the world, except for us humans, and that's one of the reasons we ant lovers actually like ants. Also, second last fact is that something that most people know but do not really, comprehend. Some ant species can have millions of ants in their colonies, all right? And think about it, million is a thousand, and that's a lot, right? And some species, all the species that can have those numbers are tropical, and most of them are pretty small, like Solenopsis geminata, the Asian fire ant. They have a single queen and they can have a few million of ants, all right? And that's a lot, and they can cause a lot of damage. They're forced to be reckoned with, a colony of ants, and they all came from a single egg-laying queen. But they're all small, right? That's not as impressive as the Atta, the leaf-cutting ants, that can have a few million and have also a single queen, but every worker can go from 5 millimeters, which is the biggest worker of a Solenopsis geminata colony, to 15 to 20 millimeters. That's 2 centimeters. That's a big ant, all right? It's a very big ant. And it's just amazing how that can, exist from a single queen ant. Millions of giants in their kingdom, the insect kingdom, they're giants, and it's amazing. Also, Acromyrmex also have millions, but they also, in order to get there, they must be polymorphic, and polygynous. Sorry, the colonies in the wild most often are, because they can, separate and join forces with other colonies, and they can create super colonies. And one of those has been found to be the biggest colony ever found, and it was over 3,000 miles long. And that's just, a number that's just amazing for, ants. Ants are just very, very, very tiny. Those are also big ants, but still, ants are tiny. And to build a city that's 3,000 miles wide is amazing, So I guess that's it. Except there's one fact left, which is that ants are an integral part of any ecosystem they're part of. They are excellent decomposers, and they aerate the soils. They exist in such massive numbers everywhere that they cannot not be an integral part of everything in nature. And also, nowadays, with ant keeping becoming kind of popular, and the internet and all these creators that showcase ants, and they have become the source of happiness for a lot of people. They have, for the few 10 to 20 minutes that they are shown in a video, like once a week or something, and you watch it, and it's soothing, and they bring happiness to a lot of people now. And I think, what I want with this video is to get people interested in that, because it really can and is a fulfilling hobby. And for that, I have to thank every single ant in the planet. So thank you, ants. Thank you. And also, thank you to all the the ant creators out there that show the world this amazing hobby. Thank you all.
I hope to, one day, be able to consider myself one of you.